What is going on, everyone? So, this video is going to be about something that I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with if you have traded before. If not, I will go over it. But we're going to talk about the 15-minute orb breakout, opening range breakouts, really orb. I'm sure you've watched a million videos, okay? A million videos of people trading it, explaining trades, breaking down their trades, winning trades, losing trades, explaining their strategy. This video is slightly different, okay? Because everyone trades it pretty much the same. They wait for a candle close, they, manage their risks, so on and so forth. I'm gonna be going over some data, okay? Some hard data, historical data that we can actually look at and make decisions based on what has happened in the past and make better decisions in our trading based on that. First and foremost, just for those who I guess don't know what that is, an opening range breakout occurs when price decisively moves beyond the high or low established during the first 15 minutes of trading, 9:30 to 9:45 Eastern Time. This represents institutional commitment and often leads to significant directional moves. So we're talking here about the 15-minute range. So the market opens at 9:30. We have the 9:30, 9:35, and 9:40 candle that closes at 9:45. That gives us that 15 minutes. We mark the low, we mark the high, just like you've seen in a million other videos, I'm sure. And what we look for is a decisive 5-minute candle close either above the high or below the low of that range. Now, what we're going to be doing with this video is talking about, instead of pulling up charts and talking about how will I trade it and stuff like that, what I did is actually different. What I did is I wrote a Python script that learned, or I taught it how to trade that setup. So I gave it very clear instructions of what we're looking to do here, and I told it to trade it a certain way and come back with the results and tell me how it did. All right. Now I don't care about dollars. I don't care about how much money it made. What I care about is percentages. What I care about is win rates. What I care about is data that will allow us to actually know what should we expect. What is the expected value? Okay. I want to think in expected value. I don't want to think in terms of dollars. Now, the instrument that I tested here was SPY. We all know that if you trade futures, SPY, you can also trade ES. Okay, so I tested it on SPY, but I trade it on ES. You can trade it on options if you want to. Since this is a linear test, I would recommend that you use this data only with futures, because options are slightly different. Theta, all the Greeks, second derivative Greeks, that's a different video. But I would highly recommend that you use a linear product like futures. We're using the 5-minute candles, basically first, second, and third 5-minute candles give us the 15-minute range. The period is going to be from January of 2022 to July of 2025. Data source, I'm using the IBKR API. That's what I have subscriptions for, and we have analyzed a total of 922 trades in this time period. Okay, so the analysis process, we identify the opening range, pretty simple. We detect a breakout, basically find the first close beyond opening range, basically above the high or below the low, and then we measure performance based on certain rules that I've given the system. And then later on, we can talk about that maybe in a different video of optimizing filters. Basically, the system also knows how to identify common denominators in losses and to see what caused the losses. And then it validated the results, basically just went over the data one more time to make sure it didn't make any mistakes. Executive summary, that's what we really care about. All right, so analyze 922 trades from 2022 to 2025, 84.2% win rate at 50% target, and 70% at 100% target. Now, what does that mean? 50% target, in order to make the test pretty simple, because we are talking about code here. I didn't want to overcomplicate it. I wanted to build something that's very, very straightforward and easy to follow. 50% of target essentially means if the range on the day of the trade was, I don't know, 8 points on ES. So actually we tested SPY. So the range was $2. Okay, the 15-minute range was $2, just for the sake of the example. 50% would be $1. So our PT would be $1. There's an 84.2% chance that we will hit that $1. If that range was $2 and we're shooting for the 100% target, that means that we have 70% chance of hitting a $2 move on SPY once that breakout was detected. Okay, that is huge in my opinion. That's pretty big, because this is a win rate 84.2, even if you round it down to 80. Okay, but that kind of win rate means that the only way that you make this into a losing strategy is if you mess up your stop loss. Now you're gonna ask, well, Yuval, but where's the stop loss? 1-to-1. Okay, 1-to-1. Now I'm not saying you can't add on your own systems, add on your own invalidations. Maybe you use I don't know, order blocks. Maybe you use change of characters, like whatever that is, supply, demand, anything that you want to think about. If you want to add your own touch to it, by all means, please do it. But in this specific test, just because I want to have some very clear rules, we just use the 1-to-1. And that gives us an 84.2% win rate at 50% of target. Now, if you ask me, if you just trade futures, I mean, I've seen a lot of strategies, and this is the most straightforward that I've personally seen, simply because it's based on just hard data and the most straightforward type of backtesting you could possibly do, with zero emotions, just letting a machine run data and come back with results. I'm curious to see what your thoughts are about this. Again, we all know that the ORB strategy is profitable. I just think that the reason I'm doing this video is I think most videos on YouTube talk about how people actively trade them, and then we talk about emotions, and we talk about decision making and experience and stuff like that. That most of us, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm some sort of millionaire trader. Most of us, most of retail traders, we have an issue with that. We have an issue with emotions. We have an issue with decision making. We have an issue with respecting our stop loss. So once we make something hard coded and we set simple rules, I feel like that can help a lot of us change the way we trade and hopefully turn things around. Okay, so this is my first video here. If you liked it, I would really appreciate if you followed my YouTube channel, if you followed my Instagram. It's gonna be right here on the screen as well. Before I stop this, I'm on TikTok as well. If you have any questions or comments, I would really appreciate you guys letting me know here in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next video.